Right, boys and girls, I've been sent a thingy. There it is. That is, I'm going to get this right, the Specna Arms X Series 9x19mm. Let's find out what the name is on the box. It just says Flex. I've been sent this because I asked just for a few details on it. I have no idea of anything about it. People are asking me questions. Like the second anything gets fucking released, I get asked questions. And if it's been out in the UK for 3 minutes, guess what? I might not have seen one. When I asked for a couple of details, I was told the details are on the website. Do you want one? Do you want to stick one on your channel? And I was like, yeah, go on. Because, you know, free shit and whatnot. For absolute clarity, I did have to change the spring in it. And when I changed the spring, I lost the screw and the little plate, so I've had to change it over. So anything you see inside here may or may not be a Specna Arms, but it is just a screw and a plate. It's a fucking washer with a hole in it on the bottom, and the fucking, yeah, you get the idea. I've given it a couple of test shots. It's exactly what I expected for the price. I am going to completely take this cunt apart and see what happens. I want to see inside it. But it does seem like it works the same as any of the more basic Specna Arm stuff. Now, I know a lot of people are moving over to the Gel Blaster sort of style with lots of quite tough but very cheap polymer and all these little things. Is that Braille for Speed Soft? I don't know. I get it, that's what people want. So I think it's obvious I may not keep this completely standard by the end of the video. Let's do it in a proper review. Let's do it properly. There are 0.25s in the mag. Because it's a plastic mag, it's very, 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 very extra rattly. And I'm okay with high caps. I can live with that. But as far as this is the first high cap I've had where I've gone, that is a bit fucking rattly. I am going to test it with different mags. That's what I got asked about the SR9. Who the fuck are you? The first thing I was asked in the SR9 video was, does it take other mags? And I had no fucking idea. Novrich SSR9. It's in. I'm going to assume that means it works. I won't be, fuck off, doing any testing with this mag just yet. We're going to go with whatever is here. Take this info and stuff it to the front of your mind, right behind your eyes. I'm not going to be judging this by the standard of other guns that I've built, other people's versions of AEGs. I'm going to go with Specna Arms stuff, because when I first started my channel, I was very much in support of Specna Arms. I felt they were fucking the best. I really did. And then there was just a massive drop in their quality, to the point where I was telling people only a year or so ago, avoid, that the QC is all over the place. Well, I have noticed that QC rise back up again, and I've noticed that I'm getting far less that are fucked. And the most issues I'm finding is just mag compatibility. In terms of guns being busted, I'm seeing far less of them. And again, you have to go at a ratio. If you've got everybody buying an AAP pistol, you're going to see more broken AAP pistols than anything else, because more of them being sold. But ratio-wise, I feel that the Action Army AAP has got a lot better now, because I'm getting less requests of, I've had this 5 minutes and it doesn't work. I'm seeing that a lot less now. So you are going to see, if more people are buying something, more of them broken. You're going to see more of them on the field that are working. But you're also going to see people who go, best gun I've ever owned, because it's the only gun I've ever owned. You know, it's the Orphan and the Salty Cracker. You know, it's the best meal they've ever fucking had, because they've been given a Salty Cracker when before they had fuck all. So we're going to judge this against older Specna Arm stuff. So obviously I hate that. UK Power, probably use a 7.4. That is suggestion. How does it sound? Bearing in mind, I've changed the spring over to something else. How does it sound? It doesn't sound grindy. It doesn't sound noisy. It sounds like an average set of gears in an average gun shimmed averagely. That's how it sounds. There's a little bit of turn back at the end, where the anti-reversal latch is grabbing on the bevel gear, but that's not a fault. That is just because the amount of teeth they put on a bevel gear. You know, if you have too many, you get problems. Have too less, you get a little bit of turn back like that. Full auto. Slow and noisy. The semi-auto, that tells me the motor's quite torquey, because it almost feels like that is faster than that, but you definitely can't spam it. All right, let's give it a little test. 0.2's in there, 0.25's in there. All right, 0.25. First bone of contention though is, and I have the same problem with the ARP9 high cap, and anyone at the UMP high cap, anyone who's got a high cap for these. I like high caps, but fucking hell, you've got no wheel to wind it. It'd be better to have the wheel at the back or the front, just my opinion. Okay, that'll do, that'll do. That'll do, cunt. That'll do. I've already set the hop. The power is 0.77 joule with the spring that I've put in here. That is not the Specna arm spring. I went with an M90 spring. Alright, and it's reasonably consistent. That's fine. I would never suggest you run 11.1 in this, so we're not going to. But we are going to use a 9.9. I'll be ready, children. We're going to look to see if the power changes, if it shouldn't do, because this is not too fast. If the gun is going too fast, you might find the power drop significantly. But it shouldn't do. Are we ready? 0.77 is basically the same. The full auto is going to be snappier. That is the perfect rate of fire. Oh, okay. I didn't know it did that. I assumed that it wouldn't, but it does. So let's see what's inside. Go on then, why not? It's in. Does it feed? Not without a battery plugged in, you cunt. I'm good at this, aren't I? I'm an expert, me. Does it feed? 0.7. 0.7. 0.7. 0.68. I'm going to assume the mid cap is putting a little bit of tension on the bottom of the nozzle. We've dropped, what, 9 FPS as an average, so quick full auto, is it going to feed? Feeds flawlessly, so there we go. Let's go with the shit I don't like. I don't like these grips. This is factory error. Factory error, we're going to point it out straight away. If they want to fix this, they will. It's very simple. Both the wires are at the back. You don't want that. Not on this grip. Bush, right? Advanced motor. I don't know. We're going to take the positive wire and put it to the front, and then, if I can, I'm hoping I can, the negative wire to the front as well. I might not be able to cunt it. If only there was a motor tower available that would stop that fall. Oh wait, there is! Buy my shit.
It's fantastic.
Positive up this side. I'm hoping I can. And that is now seating correctly into the bottom of the gearbox. When you've got both wires behind it, it's being forced that way. And you can see it doesn't want to get forced that way, it wants to automatically drop the back. But will the negative wire reach the negative terminal? No, it doesn't. I'm sure it can be manipulated to but no, it doesn't. This does not reach over here. So we're going to do it a different way, which again, I'm not going to do it a different way. I'm just going to modify it in a second. You don't want your wires crushed. This should be slightly longer. This is not something you can then do at home for no reason. You would have to do things to your gun which would invalidate warranty, and don't do that. I might be able to pull that wire through, I might not. Hopefully I can, because it is the most rearward wire. When you're taking the screw out the back, don't press inwards, because you can detach your spring guide. You just want to make sure it's located and then turn it. That might be the wrong part. It doesn't matter, but I definitely lost the original one. And I'm a fucking idiot. Yay. You can actually take it out that way because it's a plastic body. These are all the normal parts they'd use. The barrel does look different, I've got to say. Has crowning at the end that is a bit poor, but that doesn't matter. That's just because it's not neat and tidy, and this is a very cheap gun. The hop unit is exactly what you expect from a Specna, so whatever the standard hop unit does, it's the same as that. This is what this is doing. I think that is just sat there. I don't think it's contained in any way. So I think it's just the rear body pin and the floor pin. Okay, that is just held by that little ridge. There's no little pin. I'm okay with that design. It says don't remove. The serial number does not match the serial number on here. Guess what? You ain't my real dad. Everything is what I'd expect it to be on the inside. I see nothing that I've gone, oh, that's fucking weird. Got two different combinations of grease. There's a lot of grease. There is a lot of grease. There is air seal. I don't know why there's two combinations of grease. You've got Smurf Spunk and Earwax. Sounds like a Mega Drive game, doesn't it? Smurf Spunk and Earwax. Solid bushings, I'm happy. You have the cutout here. The wires don't get snipped, I'm happy. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make this one longer. Oh. Again, if you're doing this, you're invalidating your warranty anyway. Once you change out to an ETU of some description, whichever ETU it is you want to put inside it, obviously at that point you'll realise that the wires are basically the same length in those, and you won't have to do what I'm doing now. So I'm going to give this the briefest of cleans and a reshim, although it did not sound terrible at all. Down to 13 teeth, not my neatest job, just the quickest job I'm going to do, because this is not a customer's gun. I can do what I fucking like. There's very little play on there, mate. That's almost like it's been shimmed. There's a 21.2. I'm not changing any parts. I'm just optimizing what is here. I will only change the spring. And you can see that I'm not doing this in any major way. I'm doing this in a way that anybody who'd be doing this at home who doesn't have the parts available to them to do so would do it. Of course, you're going to be a cunt. Thank you for being a cunt. I am obviously lengthening how much negative wire I've got there. Okay, that is how it's going to look. You can see the extension of wire here. Close casing. It won't be that spring, but I'm going to test it with that spring so you can hear the difference in semi-auto cycle time, and then we'll bump the power up afterwards. Time is a factor because I've got other things to do today, like make this fucking video. Oop, hang on, dickhead. Because this is different. First one like that I've done, so we'll see. Specna arms, put your sticker over that pin. That way you know people haven't fucked with it. Just a little thing. Free advice, you ain't got to take it. Right, we'll use the original pistol grip so that I can prove my point. That there. That there. That there. Okay, now loads of extra room. That goes in there. That goes down there. Positive in place. Plate. Flap down. Close. And as normal, add a grub screw in there later on to keep that wide open. I'm not going to do that yet, but I will do it in a second. We've lost a little bit of extra room on there. As you can see, that's bending over. Oops. Boom. I'm not going to bother changing the connector yet, because that is not the point of what I'm doing right now. Safe. Semi. Quieter. Let's give that a twist. So you can hear exactly how different that sounds now. Let's get this back in. I'm not going to clean the barrel. Anyone doing anything like I've just done would have already had a look at changing the hot rubber anyway. I'm just showing you the inside of the gun and the very minor things you can do and the time it takes to do it. In a perfect world, I might be able to keep this as one pure hit of video without having to do any cuts or anything. Quite nice. Unless I fucked up the words, which, you know, I may have done. Never know. Power will be lower because the piston is coming back 3 teeth less. But with the little mods I've done, hopefully it won't be too awful. Let's do this again. But remember, these do come with a high power spring and a low power spring normally. So, with what I've done, I might be able to use the original spring. And everything I've done would cost you nothing. I have lost, well, well, it's exactly the same power. I'm not making that up. You've seen it, I'm not making that up. Reshim, re-grease, couple of mods, and I've taken 3 teeth off the sector gear. I honestly expected this to go down to about 0.4 joule. Honestly, I did. Ready? Exactly the same. Change spring. I'm going to go back to the high power spring, the factory supplied. Now the reshim, I mean, I did a minor amount. Most of the noise reduction is going to be coming from what I did to the wires here and seating the motor correctly. I don't know why I put this shit on YouTube, because I get more and more texts try and be me. There's another one out there at the moment who's literally carbon copying. Look at his old videos versus new ones. It's like, yeah, you're trying to do me, mate. And I'm trying to do AVGN, so... you know, probably shouldn't fucking win, should I? Right, factory spring. 1.04, little bit slow on the 7.4, but that is to be expected. So now we are going to go back to my 9.9 and one more time, 9.9, 1.09, 1.04, and one off my guitar and a flat battery. Okay, so there's your 9.9. I don't think you can say fairer than that, can you? Now, I don't want to hear any bullshit in the comments. You should have done this, why didn't you do that, you did this wrong, blah, 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 blah. That is not what I'm doing here, because every single part of this gun is original. I've changed nothing. I've just cleaned it up, reshimmed, done some mods to what's there. Every part is original. Nothing in that gun is an aftermarket part, and you've seen what you can do. A little bit of skill. I hate that so much. I am going to add one aftermarket part and put a grub screw in there to widen that out. Grub screw. In there. And that has just stopped this. That can now not unlock and fall out. Isn't that easy? This isn't a bad little starter gun. It's a perfect platform if you like the shape of the gun to change things. If you want to go with, I'm going to compare it to something, the ARP9, the barrel's too short. With this length barrel, you're going to get a much, much better volume down it. You're going to lift heavier BBs out to further, just saying. So, with the handguard, we can put a different handguard on there. The stock, you can put a Speedy Boy stock on there, you can keep it the same, MOE stuff, whatever you want to do, you can change your stock. Pistol grip, you can change all that shit out. It's compact enough. As far as I'm concerned, this is a perfectly adequate starter gun, a perfectly adequate usage gun, and with those tiny little mods, hey, not bad, is it, really? Longevity, don't fucking ask me, I don't fucking know. I've no idea what's going to happen. All right, longevity, don't know. It was brand new when I got it. There we go. Right, be gone.